Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Harold Port podcast. I'm your host, Harold Port, and yesterday we had UFC Vegas, Hernandez versus Dolidze. I watched the main card and be recapping the main card, tell you guys what I thought, and we're also going to be talking about top five sibling duos to play in NFL. I was inspired by Sterling Sharp being inducted into Pro Football Hall of Fame last week, along with his brother Shannon Sharp already being there, and we're going to discuss some NFL preseason big performances. And yeah, with that being said, let me tap you guys up and let's get into it. Starting with UFC Vegas and Sean Matsumoto versus Miles Johns. In the first round, Miles Johns came out swinging. He was landing some good shots on John Matsumoto, and John Matsumoto started off implementing his leg kick game to be able to slow down Miles Johns because Miles Johns is known for having a lot of power and being explosive in the earlier rounds, but he starts to wear down a little bit in rounds 2 and 3, and then in round two, John Matsumoto he started picking up with leg kicks and he was landing combinations to the head. He would end his combination with a leg kick. It would be 1-2 to the head and then end with a leg kick. And he was also letting like jumping knees and pressuring Miles Johns and having him on the back foot. And I think he um, took him down a couple times during the fight. He didn't really do much with the takedowns, but he showed Miles Johns that there was a threat of the takedown. And in round three, he started off the round by dropping him with a leg kick, but Miles Johns was able to recover from that, and he started pressuring John Matsumoto. Matsumoto was able to land some good straight shots. He started to pick it up towards the middle of the round as Miles Johns was the one who was winning the early parts of the round after that drop from the leg kick. And then ended off like they were against clinching it against the fence. Miles Johns first and Matsumoto against the fence, but then Matsumoto reversed it and had Johns against the fence. And then it ended both guys having a chance to leave their mark on the fight, but Matsumoto got the edge in that, and he ultimately won the fight by a 29-28 split decision. Seeing a lot of people saying Miles Johns got robbed on social media, I disagree. I thought Matsumoto was the busier fighter. He landed more volume. Miles Johns had his moments at round three, but I think Matsumoto landed the more damaging shots. Moving on next, up the main card, we got Andre Fili versus Christian Rodriguez. So pretty much for 3 rounds, Andre Fili picked Christian Rodriguez apart from the outside. He was jabbing and moving and landing straight shots, trying to bait Christian Rodriguez into close and distance so he can catch him with the hook. But I would say in round two, I might have been the closest round. Christian Rodriguez um, was able to um, pressure him a little bit, land some combinations, but I think Andre Fili had it from the get go. I think he was the busier fighter. He didn't really let Christian Rodriguez get much damage, like when he took him down round one, and Christian Rodriguez came up short in this one. This is Andre Fili's first win after having a kid, so he got that dad strength now. So let's see what he can do with it in his future fights. Moving up the card, we got Yasmin Lucindo versus Angela Overkill Hill. Yasmin Lucindo, she won by 30-27 decision. She was able to implement her grappling, and she was letting the combinations. Angela Hill really never got going in this fight. Yasmin Lucindo was letting like five or six punch combinations. She just looked like the faster fighter, and she was able to get back on track and back into the win column. And then moving on with this fight, going into the fight, I had Steve Erceg winning by KO or submission like minus 155, and I had Steve Erceg winning in rounds 1 and 2 by knockout, like plus 30. He ended up winning the fight by decision to my disappointment. The first round, Ode Osbourne rocked him hard with a big punch, and then Usyk was wobbling over, but he managed to somehow stay into the fight. Osbourne, as Usyk was trying to grab his leg for a takedown, he was landing big shots, but Usyk managed to survive. And then rounds 2 and 3, Usyk was able to mix in third the takedown, and he was able to land some good straight shots on Ode and just give Ode more threats to think about. And he was able to wear him down in especially round 3. And he almost got a rear naked choke at 2 points in round 2 and 3. But yeah, Steve Usyk ended up winning the fight by a 29-28 unanimous decision. And then moving on to the main event of the evening, unfortunately, I had Roman Dolidze winning this fight. On both Flip and FanDuel, I bet him at a decent underdog price, like plus 245 or something. But Anthony Hernandez as a decent favorite, like minus 345 or something, managed to win this fight in dominating fashion. From the get-go, Anthony Hernandez looked like a more technical striker. He wasn't quite able to implement his takedowns like he normally does in his fights, as Roman Dolidze, every time he would get taken down, he would roll for a leg lock, and that would be his opportunity that he used to be able to get up. And Fluffy Hernandez, when he would take him down, he would just let Roman get up because he wouldn't want to get caught in a leg lock. But yeah, round 1 was the closest round of the fight, and then rounds 2 onward, Fluffy was just firing on all cylinders, striking, was landing some elbows, was landing good straight shots. Roman had his moments in round 2, but backed up against the fence, he was landing some big right hands, but nothing that damaged Fluffy. And then round 3, I think Fluffy thought he won. At the end of the round, he was just beating the crap out of Roman when he was on the ground, but that wasn't the end. Round 4 ended up being the end. 2 minutes and 45 seconds into the round, Fluffy managed to latch on a rear naked choke and got Roman out of there after he was starting. Well, he had already started the gas, but as Roman had enough and he tapped, Fluffy didn't really have like much into the choke, but Roman had seen enough. And Fluffy Hernandez was able to extend his win streak to 8 wins in a row, and he is looking like a serious threat in the middleweight division now, as he's been looking for like his past three or four fights ever since I started watching, like the Roman Kopylov fight or the Edmund Shabazian fight. Hopefully, he gets matched up against Rainier the Ritter next. I think that would be a great fight. You have Fluffy's pressure style, his wrestling and boxing versus RDR, his knees to the body on the feet in the striking department, and his non-stop pressure and his jiu-jitsu game. Both guys have great cardio. I think that fight would be a great fight. Maybe later on this year, like MSG, November, something like that. But yeah, moving on next, let me give you guys my top 5 sibling duels in NFL history, starting with Bruce Matthews and Clay Matthews Jr. Not Clay Matthews, the one that played for the Packers, but his dad, the one that played for the Browns. Bruce Matthews was an offensive tackle in the NFL for 19 years. He racked up 14 Pro Bowls and 7 All-Pros, and he was named to the Hall of Fame All 1990s team. He was a 7-time first team All-Pro and 2-time second team All-Pro, one of the greatest offensive linemen in NFL history. And then we have his brother, Clay Matthews Jr., who was a 4-time Pro Bowler. Most notably in 1984, he racked up 12 sacks, 126 tackles, and 3 forced fumbles. Yeah, the combination of the Pro Bowls and the um, first team All Pros in general, Pro Bowls, make them a formidable sibling duo in NFL history. Moving up next, we got the recently inducted member into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, Sterling Sharp, and his brother Shannon Sharp. Sterling Sharp was a 5-time Pro Bowler and 3-time All-Pro. He was a 3-time first team All-Pro, most notably leading the NFL in receptions with 108, yards with 1,461, and touchdowns 13 in 1992. He was a 1,000-yard receiver in every year of his career except for two, really missing in 1991 with 961 yards. His career did get cut short due to injury, a neck injury, which is why it took him so long to get into the Hall of Fame, despite having a historic start to his 7-year career. And then we have his brother Shannon Sharpe, one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. Shannon Sharpe was an 8-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ, Hall of Fame All-1990s team. Most notably racked up 1,100 yards with 3 touchdowns, 72 catches in 1997. In 1996, he had 80 catches for 1,062 yards and 10 touchdowns. He was a 4-time first-team All-Pro. Sterling had a longer career. I think this duo would have been higher up on the list, but I think this is a good spot for them. Um, they got the combination of the first-team All-Pros, Pro Bowls, got longevity on Shannon's side. And yeah, we got the Sharp brothers, number 4, top 5 siblings in NFL history. Moving on to number 3, we got the Manning brothers. I know most of you guys probably have the Manning brothers at number 1, but I think my number 2 and number 1 spots just have a little bit more combined impact between the two of them. I think with the Manning brothers, I think Peyton carries this duo with the 14 Pro Bowls, 7-time All-Pro, 5-time MVP, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history, easily top 5. Most people will say top 3. I have him at 5 in my list. But Eli Manning was also a 4-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, 2-time Super Bowl champ. Never made an All-Pro team, but I think he will get into the Hall of Fame just based off how he performed in the playoffs. But yeah, I think their longevity as a duo is what gives them the edge over Sterling Sharpe and Shannon Sharpe and Bruce Matthews and Clay Matthews Jr. Well, they aren't as dominant as my number 2 duo, which is the Kelsey brothers, Jason and Travis. Travis is a 10-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, 3-time Super Bowl champ, member of the Hall of Fame All 2010s team. He went 7 straight year recording 1,000 yards as a tight end, which is insane. As consistent as he gets at the position, known for his smooth route running ability to get open. He may not run most textbook routes at times, but him and Patrick Mahomes just have a telepathic connection where they know where the other is going to be at all times. And then we have Jason Kelce, the recently retired a couple years ago, center, 7-time Pro Bowler, 6-time All-Pro, 1-time Super Bowl champ. He was a 6-time first-team All-Pro. Just one of the most athletic offensive linemen I've ever seen. His ability to get up to the second level, lead the convoy, get those reach blocks, move people out the way. I want to say main reason why the tush push was as dominant as it was in 22 and 2023, just because of Jason Kelce's ability to get lower than the person that was guarding him majority of the time, like 80% of the time, 80, 90%. And yeah, just long career, had the longevity, played into his age 36 season. Great technique at the position. Yeah, the Kelce brothers, a combination, first team All Pros, and longevity lands them at number 2 on my list. And number 1, we got the Watt brothers, a quarterback's worst nightmare, JJ and TJ Watt. TJ Watt's 7-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All Pro, 2021 Defensive Player of the Year. Only 30, but has 188 sacks in his career. Most notably, had 22 and a half and 19 sacks in 2021 and 2023. And he's a 4-time first team All Pro and a 1-time second team All Pro. And his brother, of course, JJ Watt, 5-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All Pro, Hall of Fame All 2010s team, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, which is tied with Lawrence Taylor and Aaron Donald for the most all time. most notably had 20 and a half sacks twice in 2012 and 2014, nearly missing out on the MVP in 2014. Five-time first-team All-Pro. But what's a combination of speed, power, and just football IQ lands them at number one on my list. Both these guys have the potential to be first ballot Hall of Famers. I think J.J. Watt, no doubt about it, first ballot Hall of Famer. I think his brother TJ, if he can sustain his level of play for another 2 years or so, I think he'll be joining his brother JJ in Canton as the first ballot Hall of Famer. And I don't usually watch preseason. I didn't watch the game, but I saw some of his highlight plays on Instagram. But gotta talk about Shedeur Sanders on Friday completing 14 of his 23 passes for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns, and also rushing for 19 yards in the ground. He was a fifth-round pick in the NFL draft, slid all the way to round 5 after being projected to be a top 10 pick throughout the draft season. And yeah, he's just proving his doubters wrong on why he should have been a first-round pick. Listed as the QB4 before his first preseason game on Friday, which is laughable in my opinion. But Shedeur Sanders, hopefully, when he gets his opportunity, he'll prove doubters wrong once again. And we also had Giants rookie outside linebacker Abdul Carter, who racked up 3 pressures in 3 snaps against the Bills on Saturday. He looked like a one-man wrecking crew. His bend, his speed, the power, the way he went around Pro Bowl left tackle Deion Dawkins. He's a big force. I think the defensive rookie of the year race is pretty much Abdul Carter, and if um, you bet anybody else except for Abdul Carter, I think you are more than likely to lose your bet. But yeah, hopefully Abdul Carter can prove why I thought he was the best player in this year's draft. But this week we got UFC 319, Duplessis versus Chimaev. I'm gonna be breaking down the card, giving you guys my predictions and picks coming up this week. Stay tuned for that. But hope you guys are doing well. The grind don't stop. I'm gonna stay consistent. Gonna stay dropping the hits, the heat. But with that being said, this has been episode 13 of the Report Podcast. I'll catch you guys later for another episode. Peace.